have another guest in the studio, and today our guest is a poetpreneur, is a creative writer, spoken word artist, a content provider, and content developer. Now, he started performing spoken word poetry in 2010 while organizing and promoting spoken word, spoken word poetry events. While organizing and promoting spoken word poetry events. Now, he started in 2012. Now, he is a major organizer and promoter of Word Up, a famous spoken word poetry event in Nigeria, and War of Words, which is the biggest slam poetry competition in Nigeria that discovers, nurtures, and promotes new and emerging poets in Nigeria. Now, you're wondering who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Olumide Holloway, who is a spoken word artist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here.
Same here.
Now, let's start. What is the reason, the rationale behind spoken words?
One word, expression. People have to express themselves. So you have people that express themselves by writing. You have people that express themselves by singing, dancing. So spoken word is a major form of expression.
Okay, major form of expression. Now, what makes it unique?
It's fluid in the sense that you can play around with spoken word. You can decide to make it prose. You can decide to make it to rhyme with it, and you can decide to make it a free verse. And because spoken word, the way it is, you can conform it to any themes, any subjects under the sun.
Yeah.
So it's not something that is static. It's very dynamic. It flows depending on how you maneuver it.
Okay. Now, I was asking you something before we came on. I was asking if spoken words is the oral form of poems. So please explain.
Like I said, there are poems for stage. Yeah. There are poems for page. If you perform the poems meant for a page on the stage, it might not make sense. And vice versa, if you read a poem meant for the stage and you read it, it might also not make sense. Because when I started performing and I wanted to do spoken word poetry, most of the time I start saying the poems before I write them down.
Okay.
So the feel of the words, the flow, how to come out, is what I work on before I now write it down, so I can actually work on it and memorize. Now,
you're talking about there is a flow, there is an art to spoken words. What are the characteristics of spoken words?
Well, basically, rhymes come, to play, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think I'll limit it to three things.
Okay.
Content, delivery, and audience appeal.
Okay. Content, delivery, and audience appeal.
Yeah. Content has to do with the words you use, what you're trying to convey, your subject. Delivery, more or less your stage presence. People have to feel you. Energy has to radiate between you and the audience. And then, of course, that also leads to audience appeal. When they're feeling you, they like what you're doing, and they also, snap, and all that.
No, I know when it comes to spoken words, there are diverse themes. You can just choose a theme based on what is going on around you, the current situation, the economy. Yeah. And it's amazing how you can pour out yourself, and I like the way it flows, And I was asking you if if it has to rhyme, because I know they have the day, pay, yay,
No, it doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme. Yes, when I was starting off, I always try to rhyme.
Yeah.
But most of the time, when you try to rhyme, you lose the meaning.
Okay.
You lose the meaning. So it doesn't necessarily have to rhyme. If you can rhyme, beautiful. But if it doesn't rhyme, it doesn't matter.
Okay, but rhyming brings like a special extra touch to it.
No, delivery. Delivery. Making use of silence.
Okay.
Sometimes when you're performing and you keep silent, people are
anticipating.
Sometimes you take it high and bring it low. They call it, is it pitch? Yeah. I don't think pitch is the exact term, because it's not, but you modulate your voice.
Okay.
It's not just on the same line. It goes up and down. And then gesticulation and all that. So it's not the rhymes per se, because I discovered that people actually listen to what you say.
Okay.
So the rhymes make it attractive, quite all right. It's just like a beautiful lady, an attractive lady. You understand? When you're beautiful, whether with makeup or not, you're beautiful.
You're beautiful, okay.
You know, when you're attractive, if you take away the makeup, it might,
you may not be beautiful.
you know, so.
Okay. So do you think spoken word is for everyone? Like, do you think anyone can just decide to be a spoken word artist?
I would carefully say yes.
Okay, explain.
I would carefully say yes. It takes dedication.
Okay.
It takes practice. It takes consistency. And consistency is a spirit. You understand? You have to be at it every day. It's not a one of, okay, I performed today, because when I started, I rehearse every day. Even when I'm driving, I wind up the window and I'm shouting my car, and all that.
Wow.
And then I went to almost all the open mics events just to get, that expertise on. Of recent I've slowed down on performance and all that. I do more of organizing. Okay. I found it stressful when I'm organizing an event and also going up on stage. I'm already tired. So now I do more of grooming other people. So I only perform occasionally from time to time.
Okay, because you've given me confidence that I can be a spoken word artist.
Yeah, you can.
Because I always feel like I had the thought that I always had to rhyme.
Okay.
And I know that yes, there's an art to it. You're talking about delivery, how you deliver your modulation, the way you pause, the way you gesticulate and everything. But then I just might try it. Really
you should.
Okay, now let's go into rap. Can rap be considered? Is it like a type of spoken word?
Rap is actually rhyme and forgotten that P now. But it's just like primates and mammals.
Okay.
All primates are mammals, but not all mammals are primates. So rap, yes, some of it can be spoken word, but not all. Okay. You had few rappers that come to, that try to be poets. Do you understand? But there's usually that distinction that is there. It's not clear cut because most of the rap we have nowadays don't even make sense. So in the olden days, yes, but not in this present age.
Okay, now let's go to how appreciated spoken word is.
Okay.
Now, I know I have lots of friends that are into spoken words, and I appreciate them because I see it takes, like you said, dedication and diligence.
Yeah.
You do diligence to ensure that they look at what is going on in the country, and then they talk about it and they deliver. Sometimes it touches the deepest part of people's soul, and you can so relate to what it is that they are saying.
True.
But how appreciated is it in this part of the world, in Nigeria?
It's growing.
Okay.
It's a fast emerging industry in Nigeria. And it's currently at a stage where all it takes is a major brand coming on board, and then it blows. Because I've been around for like 10 years actively doing, spoken word poetry, performance, and then organizing, and now grooming and training. Because I now train the business of spoken word poetry and the likes. So I've seen that there's a huge potential for spoken word poetry in Nigeria, and is actually well appreciated by people. And then not everybody goes to music concerts. Not everybody goes for dramas and all that. So every art form has its own audience.
Okay.
So spoken word poetry has its own audience. And it's growing. It's probably like when it's very close to the stage of comedy and music.
Music, yeah.
Not there yet, but close enough.
Okay.
Like I said, a major brand coming up on board and it blows.
I'm waiting for, because I feel like more attention should be placed to in that aspect, spoken words.
Yeah.
Because most times when I listen to spoken word artists, those that are really, really good, there's a way it gives you this sense of responsibility, especially when the theme is on something that is happening in the country.
True.
You have this sense of, I want to do something. It spurs you on to want to be active, to be responsive to what the person is saying. And now I think do you want to say something?
Yeah, I made mention that expression when it comes to spoken poetry, there are actually eight things for me personally that I think surround spoken poetry. And they are all E's. I probably can't remember all of them, but expression, education, entertainment, empowerment, emotional therapy, emotional intelligence, that's 6, right? Entrepreneurship and employment. You know, so those are key areas where spoken word poetry plays a major factor. When it comes to employment, you can get employed as, you know, maybe not as the poet themselves, but maybe the manager of the poet, maybe the organizer of the event and all that. Entrepreneurship, you are the poet itself. Expression, you're expressing yourself. Emotional therapy, like you said, it's, you know, it touches people in different ways. It heals people because you have poets that actually perform on stage and people are crying. Because what they are talking about is, you know, relate. Yeah, they can relate. Yeah, emotional intelligence, of course, it has to do with emotions. You know, and the like. So those 8 core areas are what actually, for me, supports spoken word poetry.
Now, when it comes to performance, I know that when it comes to spoken words, performance is key.
Yeah, true.
It's one thing for you to just come on stage and say, now I'm here to say this. I'm trying to perform, you know, and say, yay, day, way. And you're just there and people can flow. But there is an extra touch when you come and you can perform, move from side to side. You have that stage presence, you know. So how can one develop, for someone like me, I'm actually really interested when it comes in spoken words. So how can I develop my interest? How can I learn the art of performance, the art of spoken word?
Okay, you know, I made mention of the core areas for spoken word poetry, and I said education.
Yes.
The minimum foundation for any poet is the ability to read and to write. You know, so the more you read, the more you can write. You know, it's just like the content and container. Content is always superior to the container. The more content you have, the more you can, you know, flow. You know, so when you read more, you write more, and then you can work on your performance. You know, for the performance, everyday rehearsal. In front of your mirror, in the bedroom, if you are driving, if you are walking on the streets, plug in your earpiece, you know, and be saying your piece. Anybody seeing you would think you're actually listening to something. I don't listen to anything. Do you understand? And for me, when I was still working and driving, you know, to and fro from the office, once I'm in my car, I wind up and I'm rehearsing my poems, shouting. But of course, anybody seeing me won't know, you know, what's happening. So, read, write, rehearse.
Now
and repeat.
I have one question for you left, but before I go into that, I was asking. Your surname is Holloway.
Yes, it is.
And you're from Lagos.
Yes, I am.
And you were telling me about your stage name, so I want you to share it with people out there. What's your stage name? Okay,
my name is Olumide Holloway, but people call me Olulu, the king, not from Zulu.
How did you come up with that?
Olulu is my nickname from secondary school. You know, and when I started performing spoken word poetry, and you know, they introduced me on stage and say Olumide. Olumide is common. Almost half of the audience are Olumide or something. So I needed something different and something that will stay memorable, because the key thing is to stay memorable. You know, so I came up with Olulu, which actually is my nickname. So I wanted to rhyme. Okay, what will flow and what will be different? So Zulu, there was Kunu, there was Fufu, there was Juju.
Did you say Juju? Let me be clear. Is it Juju?
Yeah, Juju music. Juju music.
Not the Juju.
No, not the Juju jazz. Not the Juju jazz. You know, so I went for Zulu. You know, so how do I now tie it in? I'm not from Zulu, so I can't say Olulu the king. You know, I actually started from Prince, not King. You know, but when I give out to my son, I changed to King. He's the Prince now. So I said, okay, fine. Let me play with Olulu, the king, not from Zulu. So the question for people ask now, I'm not from Zulu. So why Zulu? That's what I'm saying. I'm not from Zulu, but I'm a king.
Also, is Olulu not from Zulu?
Olulu, the king, not from Zulu.
Okay, Olulu, the king, not from Zulu. It's unique, I must say.
Thank you very much.
And like I was saying, this is the first time I was hearing your surname, Holloway. But then before I let you go, now I want you to inspire someone out there that has a passion for spoken words. And probably the person is discouraged because it's not as appreciated as the person, you know, wants it to be appreciated. You know, I want to encourage someone out there on how to keep going, be dedicated, practice, and all that you've said.
Okay, I would have done You want me to do a
course.
piece?
Of course.
Can I stand up?
Yeah.
Okay. Poetry and spoken words are gifts we love to share. Since you're all good, we have not to spare.
Okay.
We try to use our poems to make people happy, even though sometimes our line can be very crappy, but keep on keeping on, getting better to stay strong. But on days when people fail to appreciate our gift, some of us cry ourselves to sleep. I see this and I think to myself, talent can be a burden, whether you have one or you have a dozen. You have to express it, or just might regret it.
To enjoy more interesting episodes of Tea or Coffee, then like and subscribe.
Doesn't necessarily have to rhyme. If you can rhyme, beautiful. But if it doesn't rhyme, it doesn't matter.